With all his characteristic humor and usual provocations, Pitt makes room for a topic much bigger than jokes and unlikely sounds: the end of an era in the NFL. Mike Tomlin steps down as head coach of the Steelers after nearly 2 decades of consistency, leadership, and respect, but also after years of playoff frustrations. It's not just a coaching change, it's a moment to reflect on longevity, wear and tear, and the price of staying at the top in an increasingly unforgiving league.
Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. I'm told it's Make Your Dream Come True Day, Tony. Do you have a dream you'd like to come true?
I'm Tony Kornheiser. I do, but it involves a flight to Turkey and a hair transplant surgeon I'm having trouble vetting, so I don't see it coming true. I don't.
Turkey? You can get hair.
Yeah.
You can get hair a lot closer than Turkey.
Yeah, but you know, you fly on Turkish hairlines. I think
very
they call
nice.
it.
I've done it.
Because you see all these guys coming back, and the back of their heads have little dots where they've apparently inserted hair. You know, that might be fun, or maybe not. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Texans' defense dominates, Joe Mazzulla reiterates, and Jeff Saturday conversates for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with Mike Tomlin stepping down as head coach of the Steelers following last night's playoff loss to the Texans. Tomlin has led the team for 19 years without a losing season, but the Super Bowl winner has dropped his last 7 playoff games, and the team hasn't won in the postseason in 9 years. Well, Tomlin is just 53. Where do you see him and the Steelers going from here?
I don't see him going with the Steelers anywhere since he has stepped down. The Steelers will go and do what they haven't had to do very often in their history, which is go and select a coach. You know, I mean, Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, you know, it doesn't happen very often. So they'll do that. I'm sure they've had their eyes on a short string of candidates for weeks. Because, Tony, going back to when there were the boos, when Mike Tomlin was booed and people suggested fans in Pittsburgh that he be fired, I remember thinking then, Mike Tomlin needs this? Really? He needs this. I know he makes a lot of money. He's making whatever in the teens of millions of dollars, somewhere between $13, $16 million. He can make more than that in TV. That's where I expect him to go. I told you weeks ago, Mike Tomlin can reset television as a form of entertainment, football as a form of entertainment on television in a way that no one has since John Madden. And that may be new ways we don't know about. It may be one of the existing ways with an existing network or platform. I don't know. I'm not a television executive. But Mike Tomlin, who you have loved to hear talk and talk to for 20 years, Mike Tomlin would be great at that.
Yeah.
Why does he need coaching? It's been forever. He's going to make more than $20 million no matter what he does without the stress. Yeah. I don't see him coaching next year. I don't.
Okay, so let me take a few things at a time. There was a very interesting name being mentioned on the internet as the next coach of the Steelers, and that's Curt Cignetti. Yeah, Curt Cignetti would be very interesting. I think he's from that area. Yeah. So I just wanted to throw that one out there. It's somebody else's idea. Look, last night after that game, it would have been fair to say in any discussion, did we just see the last of Aaron Rodgers and we just see the last of Mike Tomlin? Yeah. In Aaron Rodgers' case, he looked old. He looked sort of creaky, and he's he's got physical demands that at a certain point he can't do anymore. Mike Tomlin's only 53 years old. Right. A lot of guys coaching in the league older than him. Sean Payton's older than Mike Tomlin, for example. I don't know if he wants to coach again. John Harbaugh wants to coach again, wants to coach right away. Maybe Mike Tomlin does as well. If Atlanta looks good for John Harbaugh, it looks just as good for Mike Tomlin. This is one of the things that we don't know. TV is fine to mention. I don't know if he wants to do television. Nobody really knows what he wants to do. I think the questions that are out there are essentially, well, everybody wonders, did he jump or was he pushed? That's not what the Rooneys do.
He jumped.
The Rooneys don't do that as a rule.
They don't.
I always thought that if he was going to leave, that would be one of those things. It's a cliche, mutually agreed upon. But I believe the respect was such between Tomlin and the Rooneys that it would have been mutually agreed upon.
Yeah.
You know, the bell rang. I'm just going to say that I always thought he was a great coach. I'm confident he's a Hall of Fame coach, but it is true. And I would never have joined that group chanting Fire Tomlin.
No, that's stupid.
But it is undeniably true that the playoffs have been terrible for him lately.
And
terrible.
Tony, even if they hadn't been enough, how long is enough? 19 years of that kind of stress in today's NFL.
Yeah.
This isn't George Halas's NFL. And George Halas, by the way, broke his 40 years of coaching up into 4 groups of 10 years. He didn't even try to go 19.
Mike,
it's a long time.
You're sitting in the same seat for 25 years.
I took a
What's
break.
long to one is not long to somebody else. I mean, I do expect him to coach again. I think that's in his blood.
You
and he's
expected
really
Cowher to coach again, too. And I ran into Bill Cowher down the street from this studio one day, and he said, do me a favor. Tell Tony I'm never coming back. Told the truth.
But others do.
I'm just
Others
saying.
do come back.
Just saying. You missed that break I took, that 4-year break, got me through the next, 4.5. You don't remember that?
No, you're 25. We've got some football questions for our great friend ESPN NFL analyst Jeff Saturday. We will start with the news of the day. You played against Mike Tomlin's Steelers. You coached against Mike Tomlin's Steelers. What are your thoughts on his decision to step down?
Oh, first of all, Mike Tomlin is a Hall of Fame, and I could not respect a coach probably more than I respect him. The way that he's carried himself, the way that he's really been the face, honestly, of the Steelers since we got good in Indianapolis. I mean, you look at him and what he was and the battles that we all had, the defenses that he built with Roethlisberger and the triple Bs or whatever it was. Like you watched all these different phases and all the different comments he makes to the press. Everything he said, you hung on every word. He's just that kind of guy. He's got that kind of personality, and I'm going to miss seeing him in that way. I think he's a heck of a head coach. I hope he goes back and does it somewhere else. I'm not sure if that'll be this year or in the future, but I know this. Everybody who lined up under Mike T appreciated him. They loved the way he did it and the way he went about his business, and we're going to miss him. We're going to miss him being a Steelers head coach, but just in the NFL as a whole because he's that good a one.
In slightly less urgent news, Jeff, as you know, the Eagles today dumped offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo. What primarily looked wrong with the Eagles offense to you? And they change offensive coordinators like every week.
Every year.
How fixable is what is wrong with them?
Well, it's very fixable. They are loaded with talent. So they got 2 really good receivers. They got a great tight end. They got a great back. They got a quarterback who's won championships and has played at elite levels. And so they got a great defense or an elite defense. So all the pieces and parts are there. I think from the Patullo side of it is they never found consistency and they never found their identity. And I think where I would say that, midway through the year, remember it was all the A.J. Brown and I needed more touches and I need to be a larger part. And they tried to make that happen. He was the most targeted receiver for like 3 games, but they lost all 3 games. They went back. They just never really found their flow. And then I'll be honest, this last game, this is not really on Patullo. I get it. Was it a thing of beauty? Was it a masterpiece? No, but they got the ball, and they got guys dropping the ball, 3 or 4 different drops on 3rd down. They got the Devontae Smith drop in the 10-yard line. You got 1st and 10 from the 20 with 1:28. The Eagles usually win those games, and unfortunately they did not. And so I think ultimately there's got to be a scapegoat. Patullo takes that rap this year, and they're going to move on to somebody else and be back right in the fray of the Super Bowl next year.
During the Jacksonville-Buffalo game, when Josh Allen is involved in about a 10-yard tush push, you were the person I immediately thought of. What does Saturday think about this? And now we have the chance to ask you, because I know Greeny lost his mind. I'm trying to dismiss that. Jeff, is this good? Is this not good for football? What were your thoughts?
Oh, I freaking love it, baby. Pick him up and tote that dude. Do it. Run over, dominate the humans in front of you. Run over them. I absolutely love it. Listen, I can't stand the whole we hate the tush push. It drives me nuts. No one could do it as well as Philly. Now all of a sudden Buffalo does it. They pick their guy up, a 240-plus pound quarterback who's a massive human being with a cape on and runs him all the way. I love it. I'm here for it until it can be stopped. I love it. I'm all about it. That's physicality at its best. It's pretty much what football was based on, Mike. Everybody thinks it was a 7-on-7 now.
No.
They want to throw it all over the yard. When you can take that dude in front of you and drive him 8 yards and dump him on his back, good on you, bro. That's how football should be played.
There we have it. There we have
it. We will
it.
get you out of here on this. It's a survey question of sorts. Which of the wild card winners, I guess there are 6 of them, which of the wild card winners impressed you the most?
Oh, the Bills. Going against one of the hottest teams in Jacksonville and going down to Jacksonville and finding a way to win, right? I mean, I think that is, it was an electric win. Josh Allen, again, 4 different times. I think the dude's going to be out of the game. I mean, he's taking shots and concussion protocol, all of it, man. And they keep fighting through it. It just shows you the toughness of the team. I absolutely love that game. And in Jacksonville, what Liam Cohen's done with them, man, tip of the cap. They were playing fantastic ball. For them to go down there and get that win, that was special. Again, everybody talks about Josh Allen's best opportunity to win a Super Bowl because certain people aren't in it. His team ain't as good as they were either. And so he's having to do more with less, and he's doing it. And those other guys, give them credit, man. They responded, and they make plays, and they've made enough plays to find a way to beat Jacksonville. That was my favorite of the week.
All right, thank you, Jeff. As always, a great pleasure to have you.
Thank you much.
Appreciate y'all. Have a great one.
Let's go to the big finish. The Chargers fired offensive coordinator Greg Roman. Does that make sense to you?
It all does, kind of. It's big blame week in the NFL. You get eliminated or your season's over, fire somebody. The Cardinals traded third baseman Nolan Arenado to the D-backs. That's a big deal, isn't it?
Well, he's a great defensive third baseman, but he's going to be 35. His offense is down a little bit. The Falcons interviewed John Harbaugh yesterday. Do you like that fit?
Yes. For anybody who really wants to coach a team loaded with talent, particularly on the offensive side, yes. The PGA Tour's new returning member program would seem to exclude Phil, Dustin Johnson, and Patrick Reed. Your thoughts?
Phil is 55 years old. DJ hasn't won much lately, and nobody actually likes Patrick Reed. Last one, unbeaten #2 Iowa State at Kansas tonight. Who you got?
At Kansas is the key phrase there. You know who I got.
We're out of time. We'll try to do better the next time. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
And I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow, Knucklehead.
Mick Toney's departure raised more questions than answers. He was without a doubt a true Hall of Fame coach, a leader admired by rival players and the media. But a professional future doesn't live on the past alone. It depends on recent results, whether by returning to the sidelines, reinventing oneself on television, or simply seeking new horizons. Toney doesn't disappear from the game. He simply turns the page. As with every great sports story, the real impact of this decision will only be understood with time.